Hi everyone, it's James from DivyneCrochet. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a biblically accurate angel. A biblically accurate angel is just an angel represented in the way that it's described in the Bible. So a lot of artwork surrounding biblically accurate angels involve a lot of wings, a lot of eyes. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how I make the eyes and the wings for the biblically accurate angel, and then I'm going to show you two different ways which I have arranged these. One is a more kind of classic, basic take on a biblically accurate angel, and then another one is I wanted to do a really layered piece that was kind of to represent like a fallen angel but using a biblically accurate angel. That one was definitely one that I woke up in the middle of the night and I had to write it down. I'm going to be giving you the pattern that I use to make my biblically accurate angels, which will include a pattern to make the eyes as well as the wings.
Getting straight into it, I'm going to be using a black and white double knit cotton yarn as well as a 3.5mm hook. First off, I'm going to show you how to make the eyes for the pattern, so starting off with a magic ring. I do this by wrapping the yarn around my 3 fingers 3 times, getting my hook, putting them under 2 of the loops and getting that first loop. And then I'll bring that forward and then do a slip stitch. Alternatively, you could just do a chain 4 and slip stitch into the first stitch. Either way, we're going to put 10 single crochets into the center of our magic ring or the center of our chain 4. Once you've done those 10 single crochets, you want to tighten your magic ring if you decided to use one, and then we're going to do a slip stitch into the first single crochet that we did. If you want to change colors to make the iris a different color, you can go ahead and do that now, but I'm going to keep the center of the eye all black, so I've just chained 2, and I'm going to do a double crochet into the stitch that I just came out of. And from here, what I'm going to do is put 2 double crochets into each stitch. Because that first chain 2 is going to act as a double crochet, we should have 19 double crochets in total as well as that chain 2. And once we get all the way round our eye, we're going to do a slip stitch into the second chain we made, and then we're going to fasten off our yarn. So just cut your yarn and pull it through the stitch on your hook. So this is going to be the first point in the pattern that we turn our piece, and I'm going to start the next row at a different point in which I ended that row, just so when I sew in my ends it doesn't become bulky. So we're going to start off by doing 2 single crochets, and this is going to be how we build up the white of the eyes. So we're going to go ahead and put a half double crochet in the next stitch, and then a double crochet. And then all of the next stitches are going to go into the same stitch. So we're going to start off with a double crochet, and then we're going to do 2 triple crochets into that same stitch that we've done that double crochet into. We're now going to mirror and repeat this pattern, so we're going to start off in the next stitch with 2 triple crochets, and then into that same stitch we're going to do a double crochet. And once we've gone ahead and done that, in the next stitch we're going to go ahead and put a double crochet, and then from there we're going to do a half double crochet before we then go into those 2 single crochets. At this point you should have gone into 10 of your stitches and you should have 10 stitches left, so you just want to repeat this pattern on the other side. So we're going to start with those 2 single crochets, so you should have a total of 4 single crochets before we then go into the half double crochet, and all of that pattern. Once you've completed the final 2 single crochets, you should be at the start of your row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch into that first single crochet before I then cut my yarn and pull that through. Turning your work, this is going to be our last row. I'm going to start again at a different point in my project, just so when I sew in the ends there's no bumps. And what I'm going to do is just put a single crochet into each stitch. The only stitches that I don't do that with is the 2 triple crochets in the middle of each side. This just helps to build up corners of the eyes rather than having a more circular eye. And then once you've worked your way all around the perimeter of your project, you're going to go ahead and slip stitch into the first single crochet that you did. And then of course we're going to cut our yarn, fasten it off. And that's going to be it for this pattern. This is definitely quite a simple pattern that I like to use quite a lot. You can go ahead and embroider in the middle of the eye if you want to add some more dimension, but this is completely up to personal preference. I didn't end up doing that. Now, to create the wings, we're going to start off by creating a bunch of feathers before then crocheting them together to form the wings. So starting off with a slip knot, we're then going to go ahead and do a total of 10 chains. For this pattern, I don't actually change the numbers. If I want to change the size of the wings, I'll just change the size of the hook. After doing those 10 chain stitches, we're going to skip a stitch and work a single crochet into that 9th chain that we made. From here, we're going to do a total of 7 double crochets. In this pattern, when I create these feathers, I'm going to be working into the back loop, but you can change this if you don't like doing this. For me, this just yields a better result that I prefer. But when it comes to actually constructing these wings, you doing these stitches into a different point into the chain stitch is not really going to affect the final product. So we're going to go ahead and build up that row of double crochets, and then once you've done those 7, you should have 1 chain remaining, and in this chain I'm going to go ahead and just do a single crochet. Now we're going to repeat this pattern, so we're going to go ahead and chain a total of 10 stitches, do our single crochet into the 9th chain that we made, or the 2nd chain from the hook, and then we're going to do our 7 double crochets before doing a single crochet into that final chain. So this is going to be how we create these feathers. So we're actually going to scale these feathers down as we make more. So the next one we're going to make, we're going to chain 9, skip a stitch, work in a single crochet, and then we should be doing a total of 6 double crochets down our row. Again, I'm working in the back loop of the chain, but you can change this if you'd like. This is completely up to personal preference. I've definitely got used to working into the back bump of the chain, but I don't know, I just prefer the look of this pattern with the stitches all done into the back loop. So once we've done our 6th double crochet, we should have 1 chain left, and we're going to go ahead and put a single crochet in there. We're going to repeat these numbers, so we're going to start by chaining 9, skipping a stitch, put a single crochet into the 2nd stitch from our hook before doing those 6 double crochets and ending with a single crochet. Now we're going to scale it down again, so we're going to do a chain of 8 before then doing a single crochet, and this time we're going to do 5 double crochets. For these feathers, you're always going to be doing 3 less double crochets than you're doing chain stitches. We're going to scale it down again, so this time we're going to chain 7 before doing a single crochet, 4 double crochets, and then a single crochet. At this point we should have a total of 6 feathers. For the next 2 feathers, I'm going to chain a total of 6 before then going ahead and doing 1 single crochet, 3 double crochets, and then ending with 1 single crochet. And as I said before, you want to make sure that you do this twice. So at this point, once you've completed that 2nd set, you should have a total of 8 feathers. Now, for the last feather, what we're going to do is we're just going to chain 5, and then still working into that back loop, I'm going to skip a stitch and work in 4 single crochets. Now this is going to be all of our feathers effectively done, but also these single crochets kind of start us off on our next row. And this next row will start in the 8th feather that we made. So these are the 9 feathers we have at the moment. Skipping that one at the end, we're going to do 2 single crochets into each feather. Personally, I do 1 single crochet into the top of the single crochet and then 1 single crochet just below this. But as long as you keep where you enter your stitches the same, and as long as you enter 2 single crochets into each feather, it really doesn't matter where you enter your stitches. So once you've done 2 single crochets into each feather, you're going to chain 2, and we're now going to turn our work. So we're not going to work a stitch into the stitch that we came out of. So into the next single crochet, we're going to do a double crochet, and we're going to do a total of 8 double crochets. So that's going to be a total of 8 double crochets as well as that chain 2 that we've done at the start. Once you've completed those 8 double crochets, we're then going to work 3 double crochets into the same stitch. So this is going to be to create kind of the bend of the wing. So What we're going to do is after doing those 3 double crochets into the next stitch, we're going to repeat that. So we're still going to be doing 3 double crochets into 1 stitch. And then once you've completed that, into the next stitch, we're just going to go ahead and do a single crochet before then doing 3 more single crochets. So we should have a total of 4 single crochets. And then in that final stitch, which should be above the 8th feather, which we worked into, we're going to do a slip stitch before we then cut our yarn and pull that through. And that's going to be it. That's the pattern for the wing. Now we've done that, we're ready to start assembling our biblically accurate angel. For your first option, you just want to mirror your wings, so you need at least 2. In this case, I'm going to use 4. And I'm showing you here with this pattern, I've designed it so they can be laid either so the bigger feathers are on the outside or on the inside, so you can kind of play around with these dimensions. And what I'm doing here is before I sew everything in, I just want to lay it down just to check where I'm going. So I'm happy with this placement. I'm just going to go ahead and sew around the perimeter of the wings.
Alternatively, if you want to make something more elaborate, you want to go ahead and make a bunch of different wings. So for me, I decided that I wanted to use a bunch of different hook sizes and yarn sizes, so I used whatever I had on hand. I quickly made this distressed top and put a line of surface crochet down the middle just so I could make it symmetrical, and I decided to make this fallen angel top. So this is 10 wings in total and 5 eyes that I just kind of layered bit by bit and sewn on top of each other. As you can see, I also added this red distressed surface crochet. Obviously there's more than these 2 options as to what you can do with this pattern. I just wanted to show you that you can make something quite simplistic and quite clean, or you can go ahead and make something quite elaborate with this tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you guys end up making this, I would love to see it, so either send it to me or tag me in your posts. Please like, comment and subscribe if you did enjoy. I'm going to leave all of my social media links down below as I always do. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and I'll see you later. Bye.